Hi, I'm Rich Frawley, and I'm the Digital Forensic Specialist with ADF Solutions. Today we're going to explain how ADF tools identify files. When using ADF tools to collect files, either by file properties, hashes, keywords, ADF tools provide three methods for file identification: fast identification, thorough identification for files without extensions, and thorough identification for all files. When creating your own file capture, it is important to know what each option will do for you. Fast identification identifies files by file extension only and is the fastest method by which we identify files. File extensions are the characters that follow the name and the dot. So, dogpicture.jpg, dogarticle.doc, dogarticle.docx. So the .jpeg or the JPEG, JPG, DOC, DOCX are your file extensions. This method will not identify files without file extensions or that have the wrong file extension. Sometimes files do not have file extensions. This can happen with internet cache files or applications that specifically do not save files with an extension to prevent user interaction outside of the application. In this case, we rely on file signature, also called file header or magic number. A file signature is a unique sequence of identifying bytes written to a file's header. As you can see here, if I display this picture, F_00005A with no file extension, I can see that it is a picture. If I look at the data that makes up the picture, the leading bytes of this file are the file header or the file signature. In hex, it is FFD8FFE0, and over here you can see the text representation of what that file header relates to. So by looking at this, I can tell that this file without the file extension is a JPEG based on the file signature. So our next method of identifying files is thorough identification for files without extensions. We will identify all the files by the file extension. If a file does not have a file extension, we will look at that file header for that specific file and identify it. This allows us to still have the speed of identifying files fast and get more data, such as cache files and files specifically created without extensions. This is also referred to as our speed optimized. Any search profile label as speed optimized has this identification method selected. Our third option is thorough identification for all files. This method exclusively looks at the file header of each and every file and determines what type of file it is, regardless of the file extension. This is a longer process, however, it will give you mismatched files, or files where the file extension does not match the file header. An example is shown here where all of the image files have the wrong file extension and is recorded as such in the file properties. So to summarize, fast identification is file extension only. Thorough file identification for files without extension, or the speed optimized version, is file extension first, and if there's no file extension, we do file header analysis. And then thorough file identification for all files is comprehensive. It will take a longer time because it's looking at each and every file at the file header and determining what type of file it is. That's all for this video. Thank you for your time.